Hi, hello, hope you're in fine voice. Today I want to take a look at some of the techniques you should employ when creating character voices, and they may be voices for animation or video games, anime, or even audiobooks. But I think there are some basic principles you should adhere to. The first thing you should do is really look at character analysis. This means looking at the character's personality, their background, their motivations, and this is going to form the foundation for creating a voice that aligns with the character's traits. So immerse yourself in that character. You become them effectively. But you need to know where they're coming from. You need to know what they had for breakfast. You need to know what I call the coffee test. So if you went for a coffee with this particular character you're supposed to be playing, how would they react to you? Would they be friendly? Would they be happy or sad? Would they be aggressive? Would they be quite passive? Would you get on with them? Wouldn't you get on with them? And that will help you really kind of get inside of the character's mind, get under their skin. So this is your character analysis, and it's how you should begin when you're starting off doing your characterization. Next, we need to find out what they sound like. And of course, for us, this is imperative because it's the voice acting side and we're creating the sound of this character. And that means basically exploring accents and diction and the vocal range generally. So you want to experiment with your vocal range to find a pitch that suits the particular character. Then you can adjust your pitch, and that must convey age, what age are they, gender, maybe they've got supernatural qualities. How are you going to get that across in vocalization? And also bear in mind rhythm and pacing that may be associated with the particular character. Don't do all your characters the same pace, and even your single character may speed up or slow down, or they may be fairly monotonal, or they may have a very wide dynamic range. But that's your next port of call. Just get that vocalization right and learn to keep that consistent as well throughout your recording. And next, what we want to do is look at physicality and posture. And that means, in a way, your performance will be determined by your physicality. So even though we can't see you in this particular voiceover, what you do physically will greatly impact on the sound of the character, the sound that you're making. So simplistically, if you're sitting down, that tends to make you sound more intimate, more conversational, warmer. When you stand up, you free up your diaphragm, and therefore you can get more air up through your larynx, and you can add more power and dynamism to your voice and therefore to your character. So experiment with standing up, sitting down, and also throw yourself into the role. Use your hands. I'm a great gesticulator. So use your hands to great effect. Really act that part. Don't just sit there like that, doing my little character like this, but make sure that everyone knows that this is the character. Make an impact, make a statement with your physicality. So actually move around the mic. Don't hit the mic, and try and stay on mic as much as you can, but use your body basically and use your posture to convey the character's traits. The next thing is something I think a lot of people ignore, and that's the emotional connection. And that is very important, getting that emotional connectivity with your character. What experiences have they had? What have they done in the past and to affect their feelings? Feelings are really important in our lives and in your character's lives. And this will help to make your character three-dimensional. Very few characters are either just totally evil or totally good. There are goodies and baddies, of course, and lots of gradations of grey in between. But mostly, as we know from our human side, we know that in fact, there are lots of kind of feelings that we have, and very few people or characters, or aliens for that matter, are actually wholly bad or wholly good. They're sometimes a mixture. They may be more on one end of the spectrum than the other, but give your characters some emotional connectivity, make that emotional connection, and really try and make them three-dimensional. I'd like to say make them human, because of course sometimes you might be doing a character that is far from human. But that said, they will have something there. Perhaps they've got a bit of a sense of humour. Perhaps they haven't. But whatever, add some, in inverted commas, humanity to your character, and that will help to really make the characterization believable and give it some authenticity. Vocal textures are very important when creating characters, and because though they may have a visual element, so we may be able to see them on screen, you need to reflect how they look with your vocal textures. So that could be a sort of raspiness, a bit like that. It could be a breathiness. It could be more like that. Or it could be very powerful. It could be nice and smooth. Or it could be a bit jagged and a bit sort of edgy. So it's not just the pitch and the general tone, but it's also the texture of the voice. Just draw on your own experience with other people and what they sound like. And if you've got some examples in your life, then that will really help. But vocal textures are very important for adding another layer to that character's personality. Draw on what you know, what your own experience of meeting other people. You've probably met people who've got very weird voices, or they've got strange accents, or perhaps they haven't, but you can combine the two. Perhaps the pitch of a work colleague or something, which was very, very high. You're creating this unique character. So draw upon your real life experience. It's so important, because that's what makes us kind of voiceover people, is that we draw on all the things that we've gone through in our lives so far, and all the people we've met that made an impression on us. And rather than doing mimicry directly, what you ought to do is take the elements of various people you've met, or perhaps their characters on screen, movie stars or gaming stars or whatever, that just have inspired you, and you've thought that's an interesting voice, and take perhaps one aspect of that. Maybe it's the vocal texture, maybe it's their speech pattern, maybe it's their accent, maybe it's their diction. Take all of those elements and stitch them together to create a lovely patchwork that will be very unique. It will be this amazing character. And practice, of course. If you can do lots and lots of practice, just practice fleshing out your characters, making them as believable, authentic and realistic as you can. That will very much help. And your script reading, of course, practice doing the read-throughs and the script reading and doing them out loud. So hopefully those tips and observations will help you create these amazing characters. And if you keep on practicing, do your read-throughs, and make sure you have these authentic characters that are totally believable, you can't go far wrong. All right, good luck with your voiceover career, and I'll see you next time.